Hi, John Velie, CEO of OnlineVisas, here for another episode of Immigration Solutions during the coronavirus. It's April 28th, 2020, and here are our stats. As of today, according to the World Health Organization, which seem to be reporting a lower number than some sources, we are at 2,959,000 cases. So we will reach 3 million here probably tomorrow. Worldwide, we have 202,000 deaths and 73,000 new cases. Hey, Jordan Weinstein, good to see you out there, my friend. In the United States, while some are reporting over 1,057,000 deaths, the World Health Organization has us at 960,000 and 49,000 deaths with 29,000 new cases. I see Judge Rod Rings out there. Good to see you, Judge. Saw some nice pictures of you on the beach. Or beach-like existence. So in immigration news, we reported yesterday the good news in immigration is that the deadlines for green card, part of the green card application, where you get to adjust your status from a temporary visa into a permanent visa, has been sped up significantly for most countries in the world, and even in all the countries sped up to some degree, but a lot of them are now current. So if you want to file a green card today in the EB1 category, for the first time in a number of years, you can file your adjustment at the same time you file your green card. So a really, really good opportunity to get that process. And if you do it, you may have a green card in hand within a year, maybe even sooner than that. So those are good news. Hey, there's Greg Goodman out there. Good to see you, Greg. And Jackie Blazer Bachman. Good to see you. So we're talking about immigration during the coronavirus. Some good news in immigration is the speeding up of deadlines for green cards. You know, obviously that's happening because less people are putting these cases in because they're just putting less in. There's a chilling effect. There's been a lot of executive orders. There's been the border's been closed down for people to come in from a number of countries. China has you can't come in from China. You can't come in from the Schengen countries. That's most of the European countries. You can't come in from Great Britain. So a lot of folks can't come in. And there was a presidential proclamation that started with a tweet that said that immigration was going to be halted, right? And it was to some degree, but a very limited manner. So we talked about that the other day too. And I can give you more information if you want to private message me or go to OnlineVisas.com and look at COVID-19 news. And we've got a breakdown. We even have a chart I could send you on what the presidential proclamation says. And in essence, it has stopped green card applications for people outside the country. That means if you want to get a green card inside the country, you can still do that. Also, if you're outside the country, you can still do green card applications for spouses and children. That means you can't do them for parents and if you're a green card holder for a spouse. It has to be a U.S. citizen that does that. Also, you can do the EB5 immigrant visa petition outside the country. And going back to our good news, the country of Vietnam has become current on that. They had a backlog on there. So Vietnamese investors that want to invest either $900,000 or $1.8 million and will create 10 jobs for Americans, they are now up with the rest of the world who can do that right now and not wait on a multiple year backlog. China is the only country that still has a backlog of what seems to be a couple of years. So if you want to invest in America, create jobs, we could use it. Those are good things. Other things that are good things to know in immigration are whether or not, if you accept health care or money, whether you would be a public charge. There's a nice little chart by Protecting Immigrant Families right here, and we've also have some information on our blogs about it. But if you were under the Families First Act that provides funding for COVID-19 testing and things like that, you might be able to do some, you might be able to get some benefits. And really, USCIS has announced that testing, prevention, or treatment for COVID-19 will not be used against immigrants in the public charge test. Immigrant families should seek the care if they need this during a difficult time. If you're not sure if that covers you, contact us. The cash assistance, now that is, the stimulus payment is a tax credit. So if you get the stimulus payment, it is not a public charge. Secondly, if you do unemployment insurance in your state, and this goes by a state-by-state basis, you probably won't be a public charge if the reason that you're not working is because you were laid off or furloughed because of COVID-19. You really need to document that, because there'll be a form you're going to have to fill in. You're going to have to say you were a public charge, and you're going to get an exception from that. So make sure you do that intelligently. Also, as we've been doing these things, I guess we got picked up. This is an article here in Financial Assistance for DACA Recipients amid the COVID-19 Crisis by Michael Rand in a publication called Interest.com. Interest.com covered and quoted me on certain things that we've talked about here, and that was really what we just touched on there, which was whether or not folks could, accept payments, in particular DACA is what these guys were concerned about. Some good information in that article. If you're on DACA, DACA means Deferred Adjudication for Childhood Arrivals. That was a program created under the Obama administration that let those who came to America while they were children apply for work authorization and not be deported. Right? That's what the deferred adjudication means. And it's been a very contentious program, but it has not been repealed. And, DACA, there's about 800,000 folks on DACA right now. And of course, they don't know where they stand. They're not green card holders. They're not citizens. They sit in this really interesting place. And this article is really good for them. And if you're on DACA or want to be on DACA, call us and we'll do that. I see Constantino's Leaky Toast, these skiers out there, and Bob Cooney, Mr. Electric, checking us out. Good to see you guys. John Velie, I'm talking about immigration solutions during the coronavirus, and we do a little bit more. So, for example, Tai, my favorite restaurant in the whole wide world, is not open on Monday, so I was able to use Postmates to get the garlic stir fry chicken, spicy number 4, some gyoza, and for my buddy Eric Fawcett, we ordered some fried rice and delivered over. Is very nice. Good to keep supporting Tai and other local restaurants. My friend Emilio runs a restaurant called Pepe Delgado's in campus, and he's done a great job staying open, keeping all of his people employed. We know it's really tough on the restaurant industry, and it's good to see these guys, keeping their folks employed during this time. I also wanted to go over something. We've lost so many people during the coronavirus. As they said, we're near 50,000 deaths. And it's pretty rough. So I wanted to take a moment to think about the people who aren't dead, right? Folks that we may not give a lot of thought to, or maybe we do, that still aren't dead. So here are my favorite people, kind of famous people that aren't dead. Willie Nelson. Incredible singer-songwriter. Not a big country western fan, but I'm a huge Willie Nelson fan. What great music he's done. I think I like singers with bizarre voices or not classic voices. Tom Petty, I think, makes that category. Neil Young. And we've lost Tom Petty, but we still have Neil Young and we still have Willie Nelson, and that's a good thing. Also, another great person that's still alive is Bill Russell. There's been a great documentary, I don't know if you've seen it, called The Last Dance on ESPN about the last championship season of the Chicago Bulls. They've had 3 episodes. They're fantastic. Episode 3 really talked about Dennis Rodman, the Worm, and his becoming Dennis Rodman, right? And they really traced it back. So Dennis Rodman, a lot of people don't know this, went to Southeast Oklahoma State in Durant, Oklahoma. I knew that because Kelly Meek, my good friend and rugby teammate, was down there playing football. And so we learned of the Worm early on, ran into him in a rugby tournament in Austin. You could pick him out because he was a foot taller than everybody else, but he was always down for a good time once he became the personality that he became. But he was kind of a modest guy from Dallas, really a really poor section of Dallas, and went on to become such a great character. Maybe one of the best defenders of all time, and really a big part of how the Bulls were able to accomplish what they did. But in that conversation, Michael Jordan and the Bulls won 6 They were 6-0 in NBA finalists, and some people say that's the best ever because it's perfect, and it's hard to argue with that. But Bill Russell won 11 out of 12. He went to the finals 12 times and won 11. And what's really interesting when you watch the Bulls special is how they shut the Bulls down. And the whole deal about why they even had the last season was so controversial is because they weren't paying Scottie Pippen anything. They threatened to trade him. He's in a huge battle with the front office. And the front office is let's break this thing apart and then we can stay a good team as opposed to letting it wind down. So that was at 6. They got their 6th. But to go to 12 and win 11, Bill Russell did that. And when they talk about the great basketball players ever, you don't hear Bill Russell's name a lot, even though he was a player, he was the captain, and he was the player coach. He coached the NBA Celtics team as well. And so just a fantastic guy, still alive, and we appreciate that. Another one we're not surprised is still alive is Keith Richards. Keith Richards just looks like he should have been dead since I was a kid. All the blood transfusions, stories about that in the 70s. Why is this guy still walking? And, they make jokes, that Keith Richards will be alive much longer than we are. So really good to see that. Now, on the feel-good side, if I get this guy's name right, it's Nick Vujicic. Vujicic. If you've never heard of Nick Vujicic, he is a no arm, no legs Australian guy that does speaking engagements, right? This guy is cool as hell. There's a lot of videos of him, Vujicic. Go check it out. I've seen him at some conferences. The Action Coach Conference had him because they're Australians, and Brad Sugar's a good friend, a client of mine, and I was a client of theirs. Had some stuff on Nick Vujicic, and he is, if you think your day is bad or what you're going through is hard, how about having no arms and no legs? And this guy is the most positive guy you'll ever see. Check him out. Glad that he's still around, right? So other people that are still alive, Elon Musk. Think about Elon Musk for a second. An immigrant. So I'm prone to those guys. Incredible innovator, invented Tesla, trying to create incredible energy through batteries and get us to the moon, or not moon, but to space travel, those sorts of things. But Elon Musk, just a real innovator. What's really amazing about creating Tesla is essentially it's the backwards of creating cars that have great computer systems in it. He's creating a computer that drives. And if you've paid attention to the American car marketplace, there aren't new cars. I mean, every time they try, they kind of just disappear. Saturn, which was a spin-off of GM, they couldn't maintain. You just see companies disappear. You don't see a lot of Pontiacs anymore, Hudsons, all these other car dealerships have gone away. The big three, GM is just really just a couple of companies there. It used to be much bigger. You have Ford, and it's really few other American companies. They just disappear. So the fact that he could create a car company in America and succeed at it has been remarkable, and they're really cool cars. I got the opportunity to ride or actually even drive in the X, which is a really unique vehicle. It's almost all windshield as far back as you can. You're right at the front because it doesn't have an engine up front, but it feels like driving an iPhone, but it's really, really fast. Gull-wing doors, it dances around, parks itself, and it has ludicrous speed, really a button there, I guess from the Spaceball reference, and man, that thing is fast. And it's a three-seater SUV that's the size of a two-seater sedan. Just a remarkable, innovative vehicle. Elon Musk, hats off to you. Glad you're still alive. Another one of my favorites, Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is one of the funniest human beings to ever be on this planet. His movies are fantastic, from Young Frankenstein to to many others. History of the World, Part 1. Love that one. Some good stuff. I'm also very happy that Betty White is still with us. Betty White, what an icon she is. Very, very funny lady, a comedian, actress, been around forever, had a really great sort of Twilight career a couple of years ago, became very campy, was in a lot of stuff, really great sense of humor. Glad for Betty White. Bob Barker. Bob Barker, was a game show host, and then he sort of filters himself through. One of the best scenes ever is in Happy Gilmore, where he is teamed up with Happy, played by Adam Sandler, and then they get in a fist fight and he beats the hell out of him. That was really good stuff. So those are a few people that we're still glad, or I'm still glad, are alive. As we're losing so many, in just a positive way to think about life. Who are some of yours? Would love to hear who you think is great to still have around. A couple of people on that just showed up on my feed. Mike Logston, glad he's there. Black belt, recent black belt, and badass. Kenny Matthews, a good friend, and Yule Longhorn. Very influential in the Native American community. Very good businessman and an astute thinker. Good to see that Yule's checking in. Glad to see all of you guys. We're going to call it short today. Just wanted to check in. Damn near 1 million people have caught this disease worldwide. In the country, and about 50,000 have died. So be safe. A lot of places are opening back up. Be smart. Don't listen to politicians. Listen to doctors, and don't be too proud. It's no sign of weakness to wear a mask. No sign of weakness to social distance. No sign of weakness to not shake somebody's hands and just give them the elbow, or the air high five, or the air hug. We want to see you stick around. It's a tough disease that takes down people of all ages. Young people die from it too. Nobody wants to catch this thing. And look, it's not political, folks. Just be smart out there. Anyway, we'll see you later. John Velie, CEO of OnlineVisas. Take care. Have a great day.